Hello, welcome back. I'm Gladys. I love cake, and over here we make simple, informative tutorials to help you navigate baking and decorating. We're back covering this cake with whipped ganache. Where's the ganache I made? Whipped ganache right here. I was here earlier where we covered our cake with unwhipped ganache, but this time we're going to be doing it with our whipped ganache, and hopefully it's packed with tips for you to learn some new tips with. I was here a little over an hour ago, and yeah, I've been treated to a milkshake, so let me just enjoy my milkshake whilst I teach you how to make cake. Okay, you're back for a minute. Auntie Jackie's fine. If I have you for a second, I still love it nonetheless. So we're getting right into it. I just can't. Oreo milkshakes, they're so tasty. I just can't let it go. Right. The difference between the ganache we are using now and the one we had before is whipped ganache. Whipped ganache has a different consistency, and so it kind of yields differently on the cake. And to give you a full experience of what the ganache looks like when it's on the cake, I just thought I'm going to use whipped ganache this time. So let's get to it. Nothing is going to change with the process, exactly the same, but let's see if our results will be any different. There you go. On the top, I'm still going to be using the ganache discs. See, the whipped ganache is a lot more loose and kind of spreads easily. Dolly. Okay. Right, so there you go, on the top. And then on the top goes this is a 6-inch cake. And then on top of that goes a little bit of ganache. And then we're going to try this all over again. Okay, right, and we get the right angle ruler just to make sure that our cake is aligned. And this is the crumb coat face, right? So okay. If you have any questions, I will answer it in a minute, okay? Please bear with me. Let's get this done. The difference between the whipped ganache and the unwhipped ganache is the unwhipped ganache is rather sturdy, whereas whipped ganache isn't. But then whipped ganache is kind of increased in volume, so you have more to use, and it spreads easily because it's whipped. So there are reasons for and not. It's neither here nor there. Plus, you can color whipped ganache easily because it's been whipped, it takes on to color. This just has a little bit of white in it to kind of thin out the yellow in it a little bit. Okay, and so because this is the crumb coat, I'm just doing this a little more cautiously. What am I looking for? A scraper. Because it's a crumb coat, it's not going all the way there. So I'm going to have to find a different scraper to get in the middle. Let me see if I've got the small scraper, have I? Not here. Where is it? The scraper I'm looking for. Okay, there it is. Right, there you go. Right, I've got this. Just to even stuff out. Okay. Okay, we can't do anything just yet. We're gonna have to keep this. We're gonna have to go and keep this in the fridge. Auntie Jackie says, you're my girl for real. I love Oreo. God. If you give me Oreo ice cream, Oreo milkshake from TGI Fridays, that's it. We are besties. I should be working. Don't encourage me. Okay? I should be working. Not drinking an Oreo and having fun with it. Those of you who probably are here for more than just someone sipping Oreos, please forgive me. Right. Okay, there we have it. Now let's go chill this, and then I will bring the first one we covered back. I need to tidy the top, so you'll see the final bits of that. So let's go chill this real quick. Do you want to stop and eat?
I am eating, it's just that you don't really realize.
Sorry?
I have been eating, actually.
Okay. Here is one of the cakes that were covered by the Unwhipped Ganache, and that's what we have. Everything is done. All I want to do is clear the top. So we have a polished round cake. That's all. Right. There you go. Whew. So that's our cake all done here. Okay, right, so now that's the big cake done. So what I need to do, hello, hi lovely. I just want to say hello. Well, he came to tell me how you're tired. How are you, darling? You've been back. When are you back in school?
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah.
Okay. That's exciting. I'll come and see you so you can tell me all the fun you had on holiday. I missed you guys. Oh God! The day he came past and I saw him, I literally stopped like, ah! And then he came and he gave me high five and he told me all about you and your car tire. All right, then I'll see you in a bit. Yeah. Okay. Bye, Albert.
Who was that?
It's Albert. He's back from holiday. People, you're in my house. That's my neighbor's kid. The boy loves me, and when he sees me in the window, when he's walking past with his mom, he can't just go away, okay? So I've got to still, you see, I've got to be everywhere. But anyway, that's the cake all done, okay? That's the cake all done. People, let me just finish my Oreo ice cream, and if you have questions, well, you see, I told you, there's a crack. See? There is a crack. So at this point, this cake can't go back in the fridge. It has to be set, left at room temperature to set completely so that the moisture movement will stop. Thankfully, I kind of predicted this to happen, so I've poked a hole in it. But this is the part where you just leave the cake alone. Don't do anything. And we are fine. Auntie Jackie says everyone loves Gladys. Auntie Jackie? I'ma just drink my Oreos. Was Jesus Christ loved by everyone? And the man raised the dead. So I'ma drink my Oreos and love those who love me. That's all. But otherwise, right. So that's the unwhipped ganache all done here. Let's get the mixer back in its place. And Dolly, I'm sure you finished work. Was Dolly asking me a question? I don't want to miss your questions. Oh, Dolly was asking, Gladys, do you always use ganache? No. I don't use ganache plates at all. I don't. Actually, if you were here on the earlier live, I did say I don't like ganache discs. They are very tricky to use, especially for a beginner, because it requires some sort of technical and visual. It requires some technical skills, being able to align the cakes together and then spreading the ganache in a way that keeps the plates aligned without shifting. It's more difficult than you think. But when you get it right, look at how easy the cake is. And when even you get it right, the part where you kind of take the plates off, and it's a lot. So I don't recommend ganache plates as much as I don't, what are they called? There is a product on the market. The name always escapes me, but it's a very fancy product, very expensive, where the cake is wrapped up, it's sat into this contraption, and then you pour ganache in and it sets, and you peel it and suddenly your cake is covered. What is it called? Whew, my brain has gone fuzzy. If you know, put the name there. It's this thing. Oh, okay. Dolly doesn't work on Friday. It's this thing. It's a very popular product on the market that cake people love. Oh, I can't remember it, but it's very popular. It's a thing. It comes in a set. Like, you get the wrap, and then it wraps the cake. You put it in this plastic clear thing, and then you pour the ganache or buttercream. You leave it to set. You come back, you set the whole thing up, strip it, and then suddenly, I don't like that product because whilst it's helpful, first of all, it's ridiculously expensive, and it doesn't. You see what I mean? Right. Auntie Jackie says, I know, but I can't call it. Yeah, it's like I can visualize the thing. The name just is not clicking. Those of you who can't stand food noise, I'm sorry. Okay, I love it, Oreo. I do. But anyway, I don't like that product. Simple reason being, it really doesn't represent the cake decorating process, and it's actually more fussy than you think. Plus, it's expensive. Not looking down on the thing, but I won't recommend it for you. For you to go and do all of that, I could as well just teach you how to cover a cake freehand. But I'm not against doing it and cutting corners. So frost form. It was only Auntie Jackie who would figure that out. Frost form. Thank you. You literally went into my frost form. There was no way I was going to register it. I don't like that product. So if you ever saw me running an ad, put in my comment section, Glad, how much did they pay you? Okay? Because I don't like frost form. I'm saying that today because I don't. That doesn't mean frost form as a company. If they had products that I liked, I will come and tell you. But take it from me, I don't like frost form. You know why? Because I don't think frost form represents very well the cake decorating process. Is it convenient? Yes. Is it easy? Yes. Should you go and invest in it? If you can, yeah. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you from a cake maker's point of view. It doesn't represent the cake decorating process in its actual form. It's a tool that will make things easier. But for all that is about with it, you might as well. Because you know why? It also means the consistency of ganache is different. What if you have a customer who doesn't like thick ganache that is so lobbed on their cake? What are you going to do? You know? So for all of that, here is my simple thought. Okay? Learn how to decorate cake the right way. Go through... I am never against old school and new school principles. No. What works? Cake decorating is an art form. It's like building a house. You cannot cut corners, because believe me, when you cut corners here, it will catch up with you on the next one. Unless you just want to specialize in making one cake. If all you ever do in your cake baking career is decorate a single tiered cake, then go and be happy doing whatever you want to do. But cakes come in all sorts of different ways and they are represented differently. So learn the art and skill of putting a cake together the best way manually possible. Now, when you do that and understand the process, go get tools that will work for you, and that's fine. And if at that point you employ frost form, great for you. But frost form, for the expense, for all you have to do, it really doesn't represent the art of cake decorating in actual form. So you are just cheating only to end up, I don't call it cheating, you're just cutting a corner that will catch up with you. That's all. And it's the same as I feel about ganache discs. When I bought a ganache disc, I was obsessed with trying to get clean fine lines, but nobody taught me how to use them properly. And now that I can use them properly, I will not recommend them to a beginner. I won't. They're just too technical. It's just like there's too much moving part. In fact, I would rather recommend the double board method instead of a ganache disc. That's all. See, I mean, those of you who make cakes, look, for all the cakes you make, Dolly, do you not think frost form, if it was that useful, do you not think you could have whipped it out? First of all, when I see the price of that thing, I'm like, girl, I ain't about to spend that money on nothing like that. No. That's not because I'm cheap or anything. I just don't feel like I've bought too many things in my cake making career that I have never needed. Like last time I came here and I was kind of unpacking some of the things I have that I have built up over the years that I've never used. Nobody told me, girl, you will never need this. So I make it a business to tell you what you don't need. And you don't need frost form. Girl Dad cooking up deliciousness. Girl Dad, hello friend. Thank you for stopping by. How are you today? And thank you for trying to whip up engagement and support for us. We appreciate you for that. Now, we are going to leave this cake at room temperature to set completely. Now, let me go off and bring the cake we have left in the fridge. You are not eating, babe.
Sorry, I forget.
You don't need to apologize. You just, when I remind you, just go and eat. That's all. Sorry. Ooh, baby. How bizarre. How bizarre. How bizarre is my new song, right? Okay, there we have this one. So our whipped ganache cake is back. And what we are going to do is do exactly what we did before. This time the ganache has set a little bit. So what I'm doing is just filling the top. And Dolly, since you were asking if I use ganache discs, the way I am using it here is not the way that it's normally used. I'm just using one part of the top as a guide for the shape of the cake. You know what I mean? So what I'm doing is just covering the top here. And then I will scrape. And then I'll cover the rest of the bottom. You won't believe if I told you after all of this, I have a vanilla cake to bake. I have buttercream to make. I didn't make enough. And I have a whole different cake to decorate. Oh, did I tell you you weren't going to see me tomorrow? Well, maybe that's in my dreams. I don't even know what will happen. Okay. Ooh, baby. You add more because the guide on the top is going to help you take all of them off, and it is so easy. So don't worry about how much you're putting on it. Plus, you've already crumb coated it, so you can scrape enough off. Okay. Okay. So at least we've got a round cake. Now what I have to do is make it polished. This is not the lemon one. This is the vanilla one. The lemon cake is just the big, this is the lemon cake, the one behind me, and then there's a red velvet. And then this is the red velvet and vanilla cake, the vanilla sponge we made. Daddy, he's not eating. Can you just check him for me, please? Thank you. Okay, now let's go and fill the sides. This is just a simple drip cake, by the way. So And for those of you who like my unceremonious rants over here about random shit and pop culture stuff, right? Here's the recommendation for you. There is a platform, a platform here on this on YouTube here. It's called The Nev. I love The Nev. It's like my little happy place. Sometimes they talk politics, but generally it's hosted by Maureen Callahan, right? She's a journalist, news commentator, and a bit of political analyst, if you like. But the show is it's set in pop culture, where, you know, the morning shows that just wants to kind of like them and it's all feel good. She brings the feel good factor, but with some truth telling and holds no punches. Like, I love it, especially say if you had a show on TV and everyone thinks this show is just rubbish. She brings the expert view of somebody who has worked behind the scenes, who knows the goings-ons of everything that happens behind the scenes on production sets. She's been an author, she's a political critic. So she brings all that skill, and she is so well spoken, but so well spoken in a way that is still like aggressive, but so sexy and so lovely. I'm sure if you love my unceremonious rant, you will love The Nev. So go catch The Nev, okay? That's all. Thank me later. I'm just telling you, I love The Nev, okay? By Maureen Callahan. Every time she swears like a trooper, okay? I don't mind swearing, but she is such a fine mind. And when she starts swearing, I'm like, my head is in my hand, but it's so good. It's just my guilty pleasure. You don't have to like it. I'm just saying, those of you who love what we do here, and sometimes we delve into random shit and we start shouting, you will love The Nev. Good luck. Thank me later. Right, the lemon syrup. Oh, right. So yeah, I didn't say where the lemon syrup went. I made a cup of tea with it and I drank it. No, I'm kidding. No, and the lemon syrup. I'm wondering if, yeah, yesterday I stacked the cakes on here, didn't I? Yeah, I stacked the cakes on here. I glazed. Okay. I think what the part we missed. I don't know. Now I forget. I'm questioning my brain. It's either I did part of it here, or I glazed the lemon syrup. I made holes in the cake, as in I used this, and then I poked holes in the cake itself after torting the cake. And then I glazed it with the syrup before stacking. Now I can't remember if I did that or if I did it, you would have seen it. So I probably did it before I came back to here. I can't remember, but yeah, I'm sorry if you didn't see that.
Okay, here's the deal. When you've eaten enough,
little meow, little cat is asking. So you make cakes for work? I think so. Well, for the amount of time that I spent talking about cakes to you guys, it could as well be a job, isn't it? Little meow. That's a funny name. Where does that come from? Ooh, baby. Jace, well, this back. Jace, well, this back with us. Thank you for stopping by. Let's see. Okay, so you see the trouble with our whipped ganache. It is whipped, it is lovely, but we are having a little bit of a struggle here. Look, But this is going to be a drip cake. Is that reason to not make it perfect? No, we still have to get it all perfect looking. So let's go and get this all done. Oh God. Okay. And then one last scrape. There you go. Okay. I thought it would fill all the parts. Can you see? Okay. Glad try and not be stressed. Just get it done with. Okay, there you go. Okay. Do we have a polished cake? Oh. Rocking Johnny. Johnny, hello. Hello, lovely. Okay. Little Mia says the name comes from a joke between friends. Oh, okay. Now I want to go ask the friends why that. Fancy sharing that with us, or that will remain a little secret between you and your friends. There you go. Just trying to finish this bit. Okay. So do we have a polished cake? And what's the difference between this and that one? There you go. So Dolly, if you're still here, Anna is back. Anne. Right. We've covered our cake. Look at how polished our cake looks. Except if you squint, you can see there is it's not. Let me just wipe up and I'll show you the slight difference that may not seem obvious, but it's there. Okay, now what you may not see, this looks polished, it looks paler, it looks clean and white. What you may not see though, and mind you, the difference is the whipped ganache. The difference is the whipped ganache. So what you may not see though is, let's have this back. I just wanted to prop it over something. Right. What you may not see though is that this right here, I don't know if both, right? One looks cleaner, paler white. This looks yellow and dark. The difference though is that this is more settled on the surface. Like there's no texture. It's just clean and polished. So if I wanted it to be cleaner as this, I could have just added white coloring to this, and that's it. However, because this is not just white coloring, this is because the ganache is whipped. If you look closely, you may not see it, but it's a small detail. You can see there is texture, and there is also air pockets, lots of it, whereas this isn't, right? So that's the slight difference, but one is not better than the other. It depends on all you are doing. For instance, on a warm weather day, when you are covering a fondant cake, you probably want to go with this option, the unwhipped ganache that is set on your cake, because it will remain firmer. Because when you whip it, you introduce air, you increase the volume, and you expand the particles, if you like. So by so doing, it's argued the shelf life is reduced. That's not the case, because you've kind of literally boiled the cream, so it's not so much shelf life. But yes, the shelf life of the cake, because this has expanded, so there's air pockets, so it doesn't hold as firm as this would in the sun. It's just a subtle difference. Does it make one better than the other? Not necessarily. I think it's a context situation thing and what your goals and objectives are. But either way, still a lovely polished cake, both of them. And I hope you can see the results for yourself. What brand of white chocolate did I use? I won't gatekeep this. This is your favorite little brand. It's called the Finalizing brand. It's a French brand. It retails in the UK here about £1.19 per 100 grams. Look, chocolate prices have shot up, and it is reflecting on even white chocolate, which doesn't contain chocolate, any chocolate but cocoa butter. That's important. Any chocolate pieces but cocoa butter. I remember when I started baking, Finalizing, that chocolate bar was 36 pence per 100 grams. And this is going back like 6-8 years ago. Yeah, 6-8 years ago. 36 pence. And now it's £1.19. What I've done though is I have filmed this session for a tutorial, as in long form. I am hoping to edit it, and what I've done is I have touched on the various subjects of ganache depending on the brand. So for instance, this brand is Finalizing, but this has a combination of what do you call it, Aldi own brand, which is 89 pence per 100 grams, because there's also the ongoing conversation about what brand is better and why, and quality. And you know, we cake makers, we love to tell you how the cake is luxury, so we are purchasing luxury products. So for instance, your Caliber chocolate and your other sort of high-end brand, is it worth it? I have bought Caliber chocolate before, and perhaps when I tell you this, it might probably put the nail in them sponsoring me, but I'm telling you anyway. I bought Caliber. Is it tastier? Mouthfeel, yeah, but that is not the selling point for which I'll recommend that you should go and buy Caliber, because chocolate prices have shot up, right? And Caliber is on the other end of the price point, very expensive. But considering Lidl is now £1.19 for Finalizing, which is completely a nice brand on its own, if I compare it to Caliber, it's neither here nor there. Go buy your Lidl brand and it's worked fine. So what I did was quietly, without anybody noticing, is that over the period, my cakes that I covered, I was picking up different brands of white chocolate just to kind of see what the results were. And I can tell you, it all depends on the recipe. And the recipe to maintain a stable, like mouth, good tasting ganache, a pinch of salt, to maintain, because quality is subjective here, okay? Because let's face it, why am I so mad, God? Why am I so mad? I need a cup of tea. I need a cup of tea. Let's face it, white chocolate doesn't have cocoa pieces, chocolate piece, chocolate in it. It just has cocoa butter, which is a byproduct from the cocoa making, the chocolate making process. So it's milk powder and milk powder, cocoa butter, and what is it? Milk powder, cocoa butter, and something else. I forget what it is. So it doesn't have cocoa in it. So it really doesn't matter. The only difference is that when you look at the ingredient listing, if it doesn't have cocoa butter, but it employs, say, vegetable fat that is changed, it alters how it tastes. So I tested the Aldi own brand, which actually contains some more amount of vegetable oil, but also has cocoa butter. But the Fincari is, I don't know if I have any samples around me. I don't. I would have shown you, but I discussed that. I think I discussed that in the tutorial because I filmed that. The combination of ingredients is slightly different, okay, in terms of how the products are made. However, you can always mitigate how it tastes eventually. Okay, now am I recommending you go and buy an absolute HIT of a product? No. I am informing you about the decisions you can make about bringing value to the customer in a way that doesn't compromise quality, but also is sustainable to business in the long term. It's just all about where you are in terms of your business and your objectives and your goals. So I'm just handing you some insight here. So if you're asking about the brand, it's Aldi and Lidl own Fincari from Lidl and Aldi own brand over here. That's all. Yep. You know what? Not going against Caliber. It is an expensive brand and it has to be justified. And I think for mouthfeel and ease of use, you can't touch it. It's great, but it's not exceptionally great for the price point. So I will recommend the Lidl brand. I will, you know. And the recipe here is 900 grams to 300 grams mils of cream. The cream, there's the subject of pasteurized cream and fresh cream. I am neither here nor there, but I use a mixture of both fresh and Elmley, because Elmley is a substitute, cream substitute, and I use half and half of that. So for the 300 mils, I sometimes use 150 of each, and the reason is fresh cream is tastier, better mouthfeel, adds some quality taste to your ganache, but it is very, very fussy when it comes to heating, because I cut to the chase and just heat my ganache in the microwave. And with all the technical parts of how to make ganache for covering cake shouldn't be a PhD project. If you know me, I love quality, but I love convenience. So Elmley, because it's made from vegetable fat, it is able to sustain heat even if you forget. So I'll give you some insight to what happened here. When I was filming this for tutorials, I have been conscious about answering as much as possible, because here's the thing about ganache on the market. People's lack of information and understanding of ganache has made ganache a weapon where people are selling you courses for ganache, and it's just unjustifiable. I'm not against people who sell it. I'm not, hear my heart when I say. But I also feel like sometimes people kind of just gatekeep the information just so that you can get access to something that is readily available, and the choice is for you to make. So I have been asked so many questions about ganache. And even though I have thought it and spoken about it, I am also aware that the lack of information and understanding about ganache is actually steeped in the nuance. So when I was filming this tutorial, this is what I did. I had to engineer situations that are real to the use of ganache. So for instance, here's some real insight. This ganache here for covering this cake, it is a kilogram of chocolate, but you can still bring it back to 900, but it's exactly a kilogram, which is 1,000 grams, a kilogram of chocolate, to about 330 grams of cream. In the cream, it's half and half, which is Elmerly and fresh cream. A pinch of salt and 60 mils of corn syrup. Why do I choose these ingredients? The half and half of fresh cream and Elmerly is to bring stability and emulsification, and also to mitigate overheating. Because if you use fresh cream and you overheat it, my heating time on full blast on the microwave is anything between 4 to 5 minutes, but at two 2-minute intervals. Okay, realistically, that's what I do. So you're looking at a kilo of chocolate to 330 mils of cream, and only half of that amount is fresh cream. The other half is Elmerly, which then brings the stability because it's vegetable fat and it can hold better. The cornstarch aids emulsification and helps to, because it's what is it called, invert sugar. It's able to hold the elements together and not break. So even when you accidentally overheat it in the microwave, because there is corn syrup in it, it will survive. You just have to know what you're doing. But your best tip is, when you overheat Ganache, just leave it. Don't do anything to it. But there's context to that. So, and salt also brings balance in terms of taste. So you do that, put it in the microwave, stir it together, 4 minutes, you're done. And that is what I did for this here. So if you're asking me about my Ganache recipe and what I did with this, that's the exact information I'm giving you. Now here's the difference. This is exactly the 900 grams to 300 mils of cream. This time the Elmerly is more, about 200, and then 100 mils of fresh cream. Why did I do that? I just wanted to see, because I wanted to raise the temperature in the microwave and overheat it and see what happens. Because this right here was done with intention, managing the heat. This, I wanted to kind of just push it a little bit and see. So you have 900 grams of chocolate to 200 mils of Elmerly and 100 mils of cream. A pinch of salt, about 40 mils of corn syrup, and then I put it in the microwave. This time I didn't do anything. I didn't heat it at intervals. I just turned the microwave on and I disappeared. When you get to see the tutorial, you will see the chocolate looked sort of spotty on the top because the heat had broken through, and it looks like it was separated. When I stirred it together, it held together, but you could see there was like a very oily film, but because there was corn syrup in it, it held together. It didn't break. And because I used more of the Elmerly, the cream couldn't separate, so it held together. Now I can tell you on observation in real time what happened to the two in 24 hours, because this was done yesterday evening after the live. So if you go back and look at my timestamps from yesterday, and when I finished my live, I went out an hour later, I made these Ganache, right? So it's less than 24 hours, because after all of that, I had to come back and use the Ganache about 3 p.m. today. And on observation, this, which followed all the processes, intention, and all the ingredient, it has set hard. It is very set. It's great to use. This, when I came to stirring it, it was still like soft because I had overheaten it, but it hadn't broken. I whipped it, and here's the result. I say all of that to say, if you know what you're doing with your Ganache, it shouldn't be a problem. But the goal is, I can sit, all this information I have to put on a document, script it with intention so that you can follow it. So hopefully I can get to do that, but come back for some more information in future if you can, right? I hope I've answered your questions for you. Right. Steph is back. So Dolly says the Ganache, Dolly's been very open about taking a Ganache class, but eventually had to kind of adapt her own way to kind of make it work for her. So Ganache is not getting the right consistency of Ganache is not specifically set in brands. It is actually set in understanding the ingredient properties, how they react with each other, and how heat influence. The only reason I am not against using Emily, because people turn their nose up at certain ingredients. They're like, it's not proper cream. No, Emily, because it's made from vegetable fat, okay, it is able to withstand heat, but the mouthfeel isn't great completely. So I mitigate that by ensuring that my recipe actually tastes better, and that's why I add a pinch of salt. There's a touch of the invert sugar, which is the syrup, corn syrup, and what have you. So you know what, I have finally there's nothing I love more than actually bringing you real information about the baking process and everything else, you know, and we don't gatekeep here. So actually I have filmed the entire process. Everything I just told you, I filmed it, but I have to sit down and script it, which takes a lot of time. It takes about 30 hours to produce like a like a 9-minute video for me that is so informative. And if you've seen any of my videos, if I'm not kind of like literally like laughing with you about baking, and I'm actually doing a voiceover bringing you some information purpose video, which takes time because I have to script it, there has to be an order to it. It takes about 30 hours. And that 30 hours, I have to find it. And all week, I've been here twice a day from 3 to about 4:30. And then back at 6 to 7 or 8. So there's a hell of 4 hours of live footage for you to consume. And between that is all the prep work and organizing. And my life has to happen. So it's a lot of work. But the aim, I think Ganache has been such an outstanding subject that I keep being asked about, and I'll be doing you a disservice if I don't get to it. So I am on it. Give me time, okay? I am also hoping that I can bring the various variations of the Ganache issues as it develops, just to answer you some of the questions that happens, okay? I hope that helps. Again, it was the same principle of this that I made the lemon ganache with, because the lemon ganache was to help. Lollipop is talking about the lemon ganache because ganache is so tricky that when you add liquid elements to it, it breaks. But if you know what you're doing, you can add other elements to it and then enhance the mouthfeel. But I will come and have all of that done for you. Anastasia is asking, have you tried the recipe that includes butter in ganache? No. You know what? No. What they call the butter ganache? No. I don't, because ganache exists on a spectrum. Whilst ganache is ganache, ganache is not one thing. It is many things to different things. So is it ganache for drips? Is it ganache for covering cakes? And for covering cakes, your best element is what we already have, which is ensure your cream component is about 48%, as in the fat in your cream. About anything over 40% should do, okay? But anything over 40 to 58% should do. Anything after that is just too much. It's going to affect stability. I cannot understand the life of me why we need butter ganache. And if we do, frankly, I haven't had a need for it, so I haven't made it before. But you know what? I reserve the right to change my mind. And actually, for the purposes of demonstration, I don't mind coming to do butter ganache just to see how it compares to other things. But I haven't had any reason to it. That's all. So it's not something I will say I like or don't like. I have never had to make it because I've never had to need it. That's all. Where's Tabitha going? Yeah, Tabitha, you go have a good day, my dear. Go have a good one. How is the hubby? Anyway, I will email you. Have a good one, lovely. Take care, yeah? Because yesterday you ended up going to the hospital, isn't it? But yeah, I'll catch you later. Okay? It's always nice when you get cakes covered so nicely, isn't it? I love them. I love how polished the cakes look. But I've got to come back and decorate all of them, people. So, with all the chatter about cakes, this has to go and set in the fridge. Does it though, Glad? Does it? Or I am just being too precious? Okay, let's see if I'm being too precious about it. Dolly says, I've tried white chocolate buttercream, which I've used to fill my cake, but I won't use it for frosting cakes. Why? I've used it before. I mean, I've actually made white chocolate buttercream. But yeah, for me, it's more for filling cakes. Okay, let's get here.
Yes, bro.
Where are you going?
Nowhere.
Then why did you open the door?
So that I don't make smoke inside the house.
Smoke for what?
Somebody gets proper anxiety when daddy has to step out, right? Right. Okay. There you go.
Daddy?
Yeah.
Oh. What?
So
Yeah.
all that is left is we'll leave this to set in the
Okay,
fridge.
right.
Yeah, and you know what? A combination of buttercreams, like most buttercream options, right, will serve a particular purpose. They are not set in everyday use or something everybody should like. Do you know what I mean? So just because it works or the combination is great doesn't mean it will fulfill the purpose of frosting a cake, because frosting has to also meet a specific purpose, which is that if you frost the cake, are you looking to make sure the frosting supports the stability of the cake? And if your ingredient combination over there is not going to assist a stable mission, then why not focus on what it is for? So again, not all buttercreams are the same for everything, and you always have to ask yourself that question, that this buttercream, does it work for what I really need it for, and will it adapt to every single situation? And if one buttercream can't, you can adapt the same buttercream slightly to do something else. For instance, if I was making white chocolate buttercream and the base buttercream will be American buttercream, I will increase the sugar a bit, or even the technique I will use is going to be slightly different. So it's neither here nor there. All right. So ultimately our cake is covered. This has to be dripped. So essentially when I eventually get to it, I'm going to create the drip. It is going to be covered in chocolate toppings, bits and bobs, and gold highlights. And then we are going to put a topper on it. But can you believe when I tell you, I don't even have those decorative elements here. So my goal is to leave this to set whilst I clear up, tidy up, quickly get the vanilla baking whilst I dash out to get my decorative elements. And that's where we are. My real life and my cake making. It's not always organized, but oh, something I wanted to show you. So let me go put this in the fridge and I'll show you something else before we go. Okay, if you're just joining us, hello there. Thank you for stopping by and for keeping us company. Are you eating?
Yes, Daddy said I'm not when I am.
Yeah, but you are not eating though. Don't scream. The people are on the line, they can hear you. Yeah, there's something I wanted to show you. There you go. There we have it. It's a little book. I made it last night from Rice Krispie Treats. This is a little book. It's actually a book, you know. The cover is actually a real book. The person who is celebrating their birthday contributed a page to this book. So their daughter gave me a picture of the man with the book. So I had to make a reprint, a small version of the book as a cake topper. So on the 2-tier cake we have, look, I've broken it. How did I do that? Anyway, I'll fix it. So yeah, so that's a mini book topper from Rice Krispie Treats. So it's all, I think I should let it, I should just leave it now. I should leave it now. I should leave it now. So yeah, it's going on top of the cake, and there's quite a bit to do. A little part of me wants to come back and kind of decorate it, but the decorating of this cake is a heavy one, so whew, I don't know. I think I have to do this in the quiet whilst I do the other bits. I'm not so sure. So yep. Yeah, people, that's it. That's a lot of information about Ganache and everything else I need to do. I did promise I was going to come back and cover the cake, and I brought it back for you to all see. So you know what? Check back in. I keep saying check the community post. The community post needs updating with so much information about recipes we've done all week, photos of cakes we've baked and decorated. Just bear with the sister, okay? Just bear with me. I'll keep you all updated. But when we are here and we are catching up with each other, it's lovely, okay? But when I leave also, I have quite a lot to do on the back end. So be patient with me, okay? I need to go and fix that little broken part, which is annoying. But otherwise, my people, it's 7 p.m. in UK time. I don't know what your time is wherever you are. Whatever you're doing, look after yourself. Have a good day. If you have further questions, do consider subscribing, okay? Please. If you're still here with us, just like the video just to give us a bit of support. Keep an eye out. We are here Tuesday all the way till Friday. We've been doing twice a day so far. Next week school resumes, so I'm going to have to adapt the schedule just a little bit. I don't know, but I'll keep you all posted. If you don't see me over the weekend, I say you may not see me. I don't know what I'm doing because there's a lot happening, so I don't want to promise and break. But if you come back and you see me, it will be great to see you, okay? Otherwise, have a great weekend. Look after yourself. I'll see you on the next one. And lollipop, I really wanted to see the snake, but I haven't managed because I'm like, So when I see the snake, I'll let you know. Take care, my dear. Bye-bye, people. Dolly, bye all of you. Karabo and everyone. See you soon.